flag.
Good morning. Let's get the commissioners meeting started for October 20th, 2025. Start with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a quorum. We'll do business. Let's look at, we'll come back and do the payroll and those other things in a little while since we have people waiting. So we'll begin with reassessment, RFP opening.
Okay. Assessor Keyser has provided me the responses to the RFP. There's one response that's from Powder Technologies for the 2026-2030 cyclical reassessment and annual adjustment. But take a look at these, take it under advised and possible. I'm not sure what the plan is, but make sure everything's in order.
In years past, have we gotten other bids, or is it always just Tyler Technologies?
Since I've been assessor, it's almost just been the Tyler. Bid.
Because there are some smaller organizations that do it too, right?
There's a few, yeah.
They just don't feel like bidding, I guess. It's not in their interest to bid.
So their bid is in the amount of $1,262,400. 1262400. That is the only bid you open.
Assessor Geisler, would you like to just, I guess we'll let you review that, make sure it's in order, and then you'll let us know if your recommendation is to proceed with that?
Yeah,
Does that sound reasonable? That way there's nothing surprising in it.
right. That's fine.
Okay.
Do that.
So if you want to review it, we'll be here for another few hours and you can come back and we can either approve it or we can do it in the next meeting, whatever you think is best for your office.
Okay.
That'll be that. Thank you.
Sweet.
Pretty easy.
Good deal. Okay.
People can read it at the same time.
We have a few items here. Let's look first at the county treasurer's report. Any changes there? I'll move that we approve. Just stating that we reviewed it.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We had a special meeting on October 14th, 2025. So we have meeting minutes from that meeting. Long story short, it was for bid openings for the owner-occupied rehabilitation program we're doing. Is there any changes to that?
No.
I'll move that we approve those minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We also have meeting minutes from the October 6th, 2025 meeting. I believe whatever changes we had are already been made. Anybody have any other ones?
No.
I'll move that we approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. So, a piece of correspondence we received from DNR states, this is just for the public knowledge, that the Department of the Interior has notified DNR that Indiana Desk Company, located on 1224 Mill Street in Jasper, was entered in the National Register of Historic Places on September 2nd of 2025. So just wanted to make people know that that designation has been made to one of our structures in DuBois County. Next, we have payroll. Any changes, modifications?
No.
I'll move we approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Same way with the claims against the county and the voucher register. Anybody have any modifications or questions there?
No changes.
I'll move that we approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. On the monthly report from the clerk, I wanted to ask the auditor how she wanted to handle this because we received a report. You have it filed and it's stamped as filed, but I found some errors on it. I reached out to the clerk and she made the corrections and gave us an updated one. Do Do you
Staple them together.
just put them together? I didn't know if you had any processes you wanted to do. So if anybody wants to take a review of that, the top one is the revised version. And while we're reviewing that, Superintendent Leakin, you're welcome to come up.
Good morning.
Warren.
Okay, start out with, we are grading shoulders starting this week. So on all hot mix and chip seal overlay roads in 2026. So please be cautious when you see men working signs or flashing lights. So just hopefully the public's listening and maybe that'll help.
That'll be the same thing when you see people painting. Don't drive over it, it'll get on your car.
Exactly.
We have that issue every year,
Yeah.
but don't drive on the paint because it might be wet.
Yeah. And year after year. Rejuve Tech, starting Thursday, October 23rd, weather permitting, of course, we will be treating roads with rejuvenating emulsion to help preserve the newer roads. I have a list of the roads for you to put on Facebook, and we will try to let you know which days and everything else for sure, but that's the list of roads we're gonna do.
Do you have this digitally? You can send it to me and make it easier for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I can keep it, but
Yeah, you can keep it. You can keep that one there. I have another copy. And, but we'll have Michaela try to send that to you.
yeah, that'd be preferred. But yeah.
Exactly when, or we'll get a hold of Phil and see exactly when, so.
That sounds good. Thank you.
We had a dumpster site employee that had quit, so we need to hire a replacement for him. Just want to let you know. And then reclamation on the coal mine. They are still working on their reclamation of the Ireland mine. They are starting on 700 West. And I'll go down there to either today or tomorrow. I went down there Friday and it looked like it was pretty narrow. I'll go down there and make sure to measure it, and they wasn't working. So I'll get down there today or tomorrow and when they're working and get out there and measure it with them and make sure they do it right.
That sounds good. Going back to the Rejuve Tech, since the two of you are newer to the positions, have you looked at other firms and other companies? I'm not saying that we've had any problems with Rejuve Tech necessarily, but I know there's multiple firms that sell like products. Have you had a chance to review those and give them your own
Not
analysis?
any other companies, but I am planning on, whenever they come in, I'm gonna take a couple of sections and tell them not to do it. We're gonna mark it, we're gonna measure it, stake it off, whatever we have to do, and compare it a little bit. You know, if we don't do it, or if we do it, or, you know, just.
I think that's a wonderful idea, just to see if it's on the field in DuBois County, is it working?
Yeah.
Because I always wonder, because it looks good, well, it basically looks like they paint it black. And
Right.
does that give us long-term benefit?
They say what it's supposed to do is just come in, all the little bitty cracks, it's supposed to bring them tighter together, so water don't get down in there and make them bigger. Like I said, I just wanna maybe keep a 200-foot section, one side, nothing, and the other side, Rejuve Tech it.
I think that's great. No, thank you for,
Sections.
so might as well always look to improve and not just continue to do the same things we've always done, is I guess my point.
Okay, right away, I have all the signatures from the individuals that own land on 900 East. With your permission, I will take the papers to the recorder's office. This is the road I was talking about, I think about a month ago. I don't think it was last meeting, I think it was the meeting before. We had somebody that didn't want to sign, but I think all the neighbors down there convinced him to sign it, and he signed it, so.
Is this the one that had the fence situation?
Yes, yep.
And what is their request to the county? I just wanted to be refreshed.
What is their request?
Yes.
They would rather us not touch it, of course. But if we do touch it, they said they don't want to be responsible for moving it, which of course they wouldn't anyway, but, as you know.
But I mean, not just that individual, I mean for the road itself, is it an upgrade from rock
Yes,
to chip
upgrade
seal?
from a rock off to a chip and seal. That's okay. But that's still gonna go on the list, so, which there's a few more houses on there. and
This just qualifies them.
so.
Yeah, it gets them qualified to be on the list.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
We appreciate them working with us on that, so that's good.
So, and last one I got is for the safety of the road workers while cutting trees, flagging traffic, or any type of road work, I would like to get safety jackets and maybe some bright work gloves for the workers. What is the possibility I could do that?
Yes.
I mean, just, yeah.
Yes for me.
Yep,
Absolutely.
I assume you got money in your budget for it.
Okay.
If you don't,
See where we can get it and,
You don't,
Let us know.
do you have any, somebody that provides your clothing already, do they have it or would it be somebody?
yeah,
that-
and we did check in on that and it's pretty expensive. We may just go out and maybe just buy it at Rural King or something like this. Their Cintas was
Understand.
very pricey. So.
No, definitely look into it. Anything we can do to keep the staff safe out there, and I think the public appreciates it too, because the public doesn't want to hit people and people don't want to be hit. We might as well make them as visible as possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
I mean, I've noticed that even Kimball Electronics, I drive by there every morning, and their people, even when they're working on the building they have reflective things, and they're not on the roads. So it's a good safety issue. I noticed.
Okay. All righty. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
That's all I got.
Anybody have anything else for Mr. Lee?
Got it.
See the minutes, from 6th meeting. Highway engineer, you're welcome to come up when you're ready.
Good morning.
Good morning.
morning.
So we'll get things started with the paving projects update. Snellville Road has now been completed, and we got the shoulder stone installed along with the center line markings. We will have to come back through and install the white edge markings yet, so that will be happening soon. Roads that still need to be paved this year include Petersburg Road, 490 West, 580 North, and Du Bois Cusco Road. Those will all be paved by CalCar sometime within the next month.
Do we have issues with weather? I mean, with it being temperatures, does that make a difference to the road?
Paving is typical for them to go sometimes into as late as December, so they can still pave in 40-degree weather. No problems.
Above freezing, still good?
Community crossings application for the 2026-01 call has been submitted to NDOT. I submitted that last week. My goal was to get that in the first half of the month, just to give us any chance that we could possibly get to help us get funds. NDOT anticipates notification of awarded funds to be announced sometime in December, so right now we just sit back and wait. As I mentioned before, it's only going to be $1 million max amount that they will award if you get any, and there's only $100 million to go around for the entire state. So a lot of agencies are almost just making the assumption that they're not going to get it. I want to be optimistic and hope that we do, but earlier in the year we got the max amount, so I don't know if that plays in at all or not, thinking maybe we should give it to some other agencies, but we don't know how NDOT is going to make that decision on who gets funds and who doesn't, because at the end of the day, there's not enough money to go around. So it is what it is. It's not ideal. We're not going to be getting nearly as many roads paved next year, but it's just the funding. So
And I would say we never leave it on the table. We always compete.
we will always try and we'll give it the best we can.
Yeah.
So, the City of Jasper reached out to me requesting a speed limit revision on County Road 490 West from Stewart Road to County Road 150 North. They requested it be changed from 45 miles per hour down to 25 miles per hour. So the city of Jasper has a short section of that road that falls under their jurisdiction. It's about a 0.25 mile stretch that falls right in the middle. And they were wanting to reduce that to 25 miles per hour. So they asked the county, would you want to match that at 25? So I went ahead and did a speed study on it. And based on my speed study, I got back with the city of Jasper and said, hey, I would not recommend lowering this to 25. It's too low for that kind of road. But I do feel that 35 miles per hour is a good compromise, and also it's justifiable. I would recommend 35 miles per hour. City of Jasper agreed with that, so they got it approved at their Board of Public Works meeting to reduce it to 35 miles per hour in their section. So I would recommend that we go ahead and put our section down to 35 miles per hour as well. This is for continued development in the area. You're starting to get more into a suburban type of zone. 45 is probably a little too fast with that road. So based on my speed study and an ordinance prepared by Greg here, do you have a copy of
We do
that?
not.
It's up there.
We do.
Let me know if you have questions on that, but I would request that we move.
Can you remind me where that is?
490 West, that's between County Road 150 North and Stewart Road. It's kind of to the west of Jasper.
I think it's west of the Pressure Addition run by the
You know where the landscaping place is?
Pressure Landscaping.
Yes.
No poor form.
Straight
Oh,
south.
okay, I know.
Sorry, what everyone
I know
called
where
that.
you are
I don't know if that's where it was, but
Okay,
County Farm Road.
there.
okay, I know
This
where you are.
is-
I was in the wrong direction. Okay.
There's the section, it'd be 35. Right now, the entire section is 45. City of Jasper has a section right there, it's about 0.25 miles. So it'd be best that we maintain the same speed limit.
Oh, I understand that. Okay, I was at the wrong part of town.
Whenever I bring it up, on the other
Six.
490 west, it only goes.
Okay,
And it should go west, too, so it doesn't know that. Is that something that we do in, from the GR side? Or it looks like half, the bottom south half from County Farm Road now, doesn't?
Check on 490
Yes.
west.
Right, the southern portion of the What's the board think about the action that was?
I think it's a fair request. I know that road.
now that I know where it is.
Yeah, yep.
Yes.
I feel the same way, so I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance 2025-13, an ordinance amending all ordinances establishing speed limits on a portion of County Road 490 West in DuBois County. That's the title. I move that we approve that.
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
Nope.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Also known as ordinance 2025-13.
All right. I'll move on to the Bridge 29, beam and deck replacement on 400 East. The last meeting, the update was that the bridge crew is currently working on that. That bridge has since been completed and open to traffic as of October 10th. We did have to add stone to the roadway on both sides of the bridge to raise it up to match the bridge elevation. So that will remain as stone throughout the winter time. We'll go back to it in springtime, excuse me, and add the chip seal on that.
Is this a portion north of 56?
Yes, yep. I think it was about 2.7 miles north of State Road 56.
Got it, thank you.
Over the past couple of weeks, bridge crew's been working on a large arch span culvert structure located on Portersville Road West, approximately 0.16 miles southwest of Hemsel Road. Work at that structure included removing sediment and debris from inside the structure, adding riprap protection along the footer and embankments, and also adding concrete wing wall. We were able to keep the roadway open during this work, and that work is now complete. We've got some upcoming projects. Bridge 21 on County Road 200 West, which is located 0.6 miles north of County Road 600 North. We have plans to do a deck and beam replacement. We're going to start that work in 1.5 to 2 weeks from now. We will give a notice to the public prior to the road being closed, but it will be a full closure, no access. We will also put some signs at that bridge indicating the advanced closure date. And then after Bridge 21 is complete, we will also be doing a deck and beam replacement on Bridge 116. Planning on doing that yet this year, depending on what the weather does for us. But that will also be, like I said, beam and deck replacement.
As always, if you would send me those things digitally as a reminder, then I can get them posted, because I think it's nice. I put them on, and people look at our page, and then the Herald and Free Press will sometimes share those as well, so I think it's a good way to get it to the public.
Okay, I'll make sure I do that. And then I do have intentions to go to the council to request some additional appropriations in the amount of $25,000 under the Hume Bridge Fund, which is going to be the highway reimbursement / contractual services line item. That current balance in the fund is running low, and we need the additional funds to get us through to the end of the year. Those funds will cover contractual services, which is hiring a concrete pumper truck to come in. It's also hiring a company to come in and weld on the shear studs on our beams or our composite bridge decks. So anything that we can't do in-house, that we have to have some people come in. And then highway reimbursement covers anytime we have to reimburse the highway workers when they provide labor to our bridge crew. So $25,000. So if you're okay with that, I'd like to request those funds from council. We've already done the advertisement and everything that's necessary.
Any opposition?
No.
No.
Okay, you're free to proceed with that.
Okay, I've got one more thing I'd like to talk about. It's not on my meeting minutes because I just got an email about it this morning. But I've had a lot of folks reach out to me with questions and concerns related to Crossvine Solar and also battery energy storage systems. I know we had some individuals come in at the last meeting and raise some concerns about that as well. So I just wanted to, let everyone know that it's not a Du Bois County job. It's not a highway department job. It is the property owners, entering into agreements with the solar owners to make those projects happen. But it does impact the county, and we understand that. And the highway department needs to have road use agreements with these projects, since they will be affecting the roads and potentially negatively impacting them. So the highway department does get involved, and I have been in communication with Crossvine Solar, which AES is the owner of Crossvine Solar. So I did reach out to them with some questions, just because I am getting a lot of questions myself. And I wanted to share some information, hopefully it clarifies, and I can pass this information along to the commissioners in an email as well. Here's what they had to say. So AES is currently preparing a stakeholder engagement program for the project, which will include a website with detailed information about the project location. They are planning an open house with the community in November, which they will confirm the exact date and time on that shortly. The open house will be a great opportunity for community members to come speak to them in person, where they can answer any and all questions and hear out concerns that they can proactively work to address as the project develops. They're going to have handouts and visuals to provide more information and increase transparency. They will be sending out invitations to neighbors and community members, and they would welcome any suggestions for additional outreach methods, such as newspapers, local ads, and such. One of the questions that I received was, why didn't I get a notice in the mail? Because they sent some mailers out. So I asked that question. The answer was, there were letters The letters that were sent to parcels were only within a 0.25 mile radius of the geotech investigation area. So there will be a broader outreach for the full project beginning in November. So that's the answer on that there. As far as battery energy storage system, I asked, is that being planned for this project? Yes, they are planning it, located next to CenterPoint's proposed substation off of Holland Road Northeast. And they will be designed and installed in accordance with NFPA 855. And the project has undergone a hazard mitigation analysis. And additionally, AES plans to coordinate with local authorities and equipment manufacturers to provide first responder training prior to commissioning. And AES also wanted to let people know that they've got hundreds of BESS projects operating safely across the country. And they plan to bring that to Crossfire. They asked that if you have any questions or concerns, they would like to get contact information for any of these concerns, locals, because they want to reach out to them directly to see if they can connect with them, set up some time to speak with them. Ultimately, I'd like for AES to provide a direct line of communication. They can have somebody that people should not be coming to me, they should be going to AES, it's their
Right.
project. I don't want to be a middleman, but because I am getting a lot of questions, I wanted to at least clarify a few things in AES intent. And AES does appear to have good first impressions with wanting to be transparent. So keep an eye on the website. They should have one put together here soon. That website, I would guess that it would have contact information for people to reach out to, along with additional information, and then also the open house in November. I strongly recommend locals that have concerns or questions go to the open house. So it's all in the preliminary stages. They're still in the design yet, but it sounds like there should be more information coming out.
And I had that down for something for later in the meeting, so I'm glad you brought it up. You answered, or you said a lot of the same things that I was gonna mention. Levi's been doing a good job of doing some work with this to try to find some information. So is Colton Pippinger with Du Bois Strong. They've worked, he's been trying to contact with them too because people have been asking them about it as well. The person who is they call it stakeholder relations for AES is Nina Santapria. So, or Santapia, it's Santarpia. So Santarpia. So she's with AES, and she shared some of the same information that you did. They said that stakeholder meeting will likely be November 13th. They said that's not 100%, but that's what they're shooting for now because that works around Veterans Day conflicts and some other issues. So they're going to be sending out information to community members. And one of the concerns that those folks had was that what if this thing melts down? What if there's a problem? And they did conduct a hazard mitigation analysis so people can look at that and see if that helps with their fears, I guess. And there are pretty stringent standards on these things. So it'd be a good opportunity for people to, like you said, to talk to them directly, ask those questions, and if you don't get answers, then just people can keep asking. I've also provided to the commissioners 3 maps that were sent to me of the preliminary layout of these. And just for the public's knowledge, this is going to be west of 231 and east of 161. So it's about a half a mile from 161 if you're coming from the west, and probably similar on the airport side of 231. And it's a pretty significant project that they have preliminarily laid out, and it's spread out quite a bit. But I guess, as we talked about before, there are people in the community that they want to lease their large pieces of land to these people. It's their private property. Our job as a county is to protect county assets and the health and safety of our residents, and that's what we intend to continue doing. Commissioner Hostetter, do you have something?
I don't.
I don't. Thank you for that.
And if you want to know what these it took me a little while to kind of dig this out on the map, but yeah, if you want to go over it any further, I'm welcome. I'm happy to do that with you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Somebody I work with.
That's another one.
Ms. Phillips, or is everyone here that you need to have here for your portion of the meeting?
Yes.
Okay, if you're okay, we can go ahead and go up now. It's a little bit early, but that'll be fine.
I tried to arrive a little bit early. I know that you guys try to be very timely, and if not early, to get your morning started, especially on Monday, so I appreciate it. I've been here before. Again, my name's Vanessa Phillips. I'm the Director of Forensic Services with Rise Peer Recovery. Previously, I'd come before you to give you some updates on our funding from the state level. And as we know, anything with the state, things shift and change as more information comes around. And I've been talking with the local JRAC about opioid settlement funds and our program possibly utilizing some of those. We were looking at that as a conversation for later in 2026, possibly June. But with some funding structure, the state has moved to a billable model for our program beginning January 1 of this year, 2026. And so they have encouraged our local organization to come before our stakeholders to talk about receiving funding possibly earlier, as currently our financial setup is structured as a monthly invoice. We bill out for the work that we do at the month end. So every 5th of the following month, I bill out for previous month services. That will end as of December 31st. I'll send our last invoice in January, and then we'll transition to a billable model. So in preparation for that, I was coming before you to discuss possibly receiving our 30% match at the beginning of the year to kind of help us in that adjustment period, or a portion of the 30% match in that adjustment period. This will be, in all transparency, very new for our organization. We've been predominantly grant funded for our IRACS program. And so I have no knowledge currently of what the billable structure will look like. My hopes is that in November 1st, I'll have an in-person meeting with the state for them to tell us what those rates look like for the services that we provide. But they themselves are right now working on the billing coding and all of that with the state of Indiana and the Recovery Works funding that we would be utilizing.
So I think, I don't remember if it was by email or if this was provided to the board in paper form at the last meeting, but it looked like this. And so the request to the IRACS team was to provide us a summary of what their services are and to make note of how this aligns with Exhibit E of the approved uses of the opioid settlement that has been provided. We've had a meeting with the Sheriff's Department and county representatives and the IRACS representative. The Sheriff's Department is in favor of continuing with the program. And at this point, I'm inclined to go with that, but bring it up for discussion for the board.
I'm in favor.
Yeah, I'm as well.
So an important part that I like about what they're doing, they have a 30-day reentry process that they do with people to support people when they have a post-release. So they're not only trying to help people while they're incarcerated, but also get them back on their feet on the way out. And I think that's a portion of the process that's been lacking historically. And so to have that happening is just an increased possibility of success for people. Because otherwise, if you come out and you're all on your own, my experience is people go back to the same places and people that they did before, and success is tough to come by sometimes.
Yeah, and one thing about our organization, through Rise Peer Recovery, we're an advocacy organization, and so one of our jobs and our goals, one of the things we initially set up right away was we started a monthly peer meeting with all of the local peer recovery coaches in the community. So not just our organization, but with Life Springs and with Safe Haven. And we try to have a cross-collaborative meeting once a month to share resources and talk about any barriers, any successes, or any challenges we might be seeing of clients accessing services, and try to problem solve those. We've been having those every month since launch, and we've been able to increase collaboration and really start to identify where our needs are, and our hopes is that we can start to seek out more funding for some of the things. We were actually just awarded from the ARC $3,000 for reentry support funds through our 6 months effort. We were able to identify that phones, gas cards, and food gift cards was a huge necessity of people initially transitioning out of jail. There's always a lot of resources for clothing or food things, but cell phones are hard to come by, and that's a big barrier for staying in touch with Clean Corrections and probation, and their peer coach. So we're excited to implement that in December as well.
Are there still, I'm ignorant of this, are there still cell phones that people can get that are pay for minutes and you give them temp phones, lower, like flip phones or something, some lower, is that how that works?
They're not flip phones anymore. They do have flip phones.
Try phones?
They're straight talk phones. We do need to provide them with a smartphone, because a lot of, for your information, a lot of individuals that are on Clean Corrections require apps on their phone
Oh.
for monitoring purposes. Different levels of felonies require different tracking or reporting things. So, but surprisingly, a smartphone nowadays is the same price as a flip phone, which is kind of crazy. So, and then we provide them with a straight talk, something that they can continue on their own, where it's not tied to a monthly plan. Yeah.
So again, the request is for $107,237. I would say that would be the top end, right? So
Yes.
that would be the maximum that they would draw. I guess if you have, I don't know how your funding is going to work this year, but in most cases, we would say, please use the other people's funding first,
Absolutely.
and then use ours as you need it towards the end of the year, hopefully. And I guess we'll have to work with the auditor's office, because we've had limited experience of giving large amounts from the opioid settlement fund, so we will work with that. The money will not be available until January, and we'll go through that process, and if the board approves the request. And the only other comment I would make is for outcomes, just please keep your data, because next year will probably be a little more, maybe, I won't speak for that, I'll be more stringent of what did our money really buy this year? Are our outcomes improved, and if they are, in what way, and how can you prove it?
Absolutely, and I did receive a UMass, so the University of Massachusetts has been working closely with our state leadership team and all the monthly data that we've reported out, correlating our program with ER admissions. I received that report late Friday evening, so I haven't had a chance to speak with the state in interpreting that, but my hope is to get that to you to show the impact and the correlation between having peers within the security center and ER admissions to the county level.
And so whatever you can do to prove your efficacy, we'd love to have it in, I guess, when would that be? Probably 7 months or 8 months from now, probably when the budget cycle starts again.
I'll have an end of year report this fiscal year. I'll have a mid-year report. We run July to June. So I'll have a mid-year report for you all, hopefully at the beginning of the year, that I'll be coming back to share with you. And then we'll have an end of year report come June 2026 as well. So it'll be a little off the cycle of the funding that you're providing, but it will encompass all the work that we've done.
Good. And the other issue that will come up next year is we'll have a different sheriff for 2027 than we have in 2026. So, you never know what the next person that comes in say, I don't want any treatment in the jail, or I want different treatment in the jail, or I love what you're doing. So that's always gonna be there'll be new leadership.
Yeah.
So they may have different perspectivves, so that's
Absolutely.
another thing is to keep in mind too.
Yeah, I hope any person that comes into leadership can see our work and we're all transparent in the work that we do and the data that we share, so anyone's welcome anytime. We're working right now to get all that data on our website as well. All of our reporting that we put out.
Make yourself look so valuable that they can't say no.
Exactly.
So I'll make a motion that we approve the request from the Rise Peer Recovery for the amount to exceed $107,237 to be paid from opioid settlement dollars in January.
Second.
Any other discussion?
Yep.
Any concerns from the auditor?
Do it restricted or non-restricted, it doesn't matter.
We will have to, I guess we'll just leave it open so we can see where it makes most sense. I guess that can be restricted because it meets all of the Exhibit E approved uses, so that would be restricted funds. But I don't want to hog tie ourselves. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much. And Sandy, any W-9 or any information that we don't, just go ahead and email me a list and I'll be happy to give you all that information. So, thank you all so much. Have a good fall morning finally, I think.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Okay. We're a little ahead of schedule, so what I'll do is, unless somebody needs a break. Good. Let's talk about appointments. That's on our discussion items below. What kind of success or not success we had, we can discuss that now. I'm gonna start on the top of the front page, and I'm just gonna only mention the ones that we had openings for. So if I'm skipping them and my name was on them, that means the people have already confirmed that they're going to do it. So let's put on the emergency management. Mr. Hofstadter?
There'll be one change there, so I'm pulling it up now. Josh Bowers
Yes.
will step up, and we'd like to appoint Lieutenant Yonda Bowers,
I'm sorry, who?
Jonda. Bowers, it's his wife.
Okay.
Emergency Management Advisory Council, so that would have been the, what do they call that position? The
The
civil servant or not
Civil Air.
Civil Air Patrol?
Yeah.
Okay, so the remainder of the board, as far as everything, or the advisory council, the rest of them are good to go?
Yes.
Okay, and Commissioner Stefano, do you have any problem with that slate?
No, I don't have a problem.
Good. Further planning,
I still have to get a hold of him.
okay, so that one's outstanding. Library board,
She would like to be reappointed.
Commissioner Stefano, any issue with that?
No.
Okay, we'll just keep cooking along here then. Northeast DuBois Fire Protection District,
I am waiting on Michelle Cave.
Mr.
Steve,
Dodd is gonna,
Not yet. Tonight, I hope to get an answer for that.
okay, so that one's outstanding.
Yes.
Park and Rec Board,
Reappoint Tony.
he's good for that,
Yes.
okay? And Peterboa,
I still need to get a hold of Dwayne. I left a voicemail.
okay? And Mr. Leakin, on the weed control board, are those folks, you said they were all good to go?
Yeah.
I think you had emailed that to me on the 14th, but I just wanted to confirm so the board was aware as well. And Commissioner Stefano, Tourism,
Chris Tritter, James McPaul, yes. I'd be happy to.
good. So it looks like we have,
I have the Airport Authority, Mr. Ken Schnaus, is a yes.
okay. So we have, okay, I had Mr. Ring on the ABC board, so that one's good.
Did we ask Ryan at the last meeting?
Yes, he
Okay,
confirmed
he
with me
confirmed.
on the 13th, he's good.
Scott Hope,
Yes, everybody, any of mine, we're good.
Okay. Just making sure. Who are we missing?
Okay, so we still need Ferdinand Planning and Northeast DuBois Fire Protection and
Yes, that's mine.
Peterborough. Those are the three,
Okay.
three outstanding. The rest of them are, we are in good shape so far.
All right,
We'll bring that up at the next meeting just to look at.
So, who do you still need yet? You guys went, you jumped around, right?
Okay, Ferdinand Planning, that one's outstanding. That's on the top of the second page. On ours.
My page is different than yours.
Northeast DuBois Fire Protection District, those two are outstanding.
Okay.
And Mr. Pearson on the Property Tax Board of Appeals, that one's outstanding.
Smith and Abel, Smith is fine.
So what we're having to do there is stagger the appointments because currently everyone comes off at the same time. The state has changed that rule. So Mr. Smith would like to do the staggered term. He would do the 1 year. We're hoping that Mr. Abel for the county council and Mr. Pearson for the commissioners would do the 2 years. What we're hoping, but we're waiting for a return call from Mr. Pearson.
So the 1 year.
And we're hoping he would do the 2 years.
Yes. Which I believe is,
So the voicemail asked if he would be interested in a 1 or 2 year term, so.
and if he says he only wants to do one, then we'll just have a talk between the
I was
two.
kind of hoping he'd say either or is fine.
Right.
Yeah.
So everything else is good.
I'm gonna double check here, but I believe that is the case. Yep. Emily Meyer was good for TriCap.
okay.
Tourism, the Stefan said that's the case, that one's
Yes.
good. So, yep,
Kent's Cards.
yes. Museum, good. Park and Rec, good,
That's the library board.
good.
EMS was my way.
Good. So, just a couple more. I think we're ahead of schedule from where we normally are, so that's good.
Agreed.
So we'll do those first meeting in December.
Well, Brett, if you don't mind putting it on the discussion section for next time again, just so we get those final few, so that we know, and then we'll officially do it probably the first meeting in December. Okay, we have a PSC billing 911, Mr. Wilson.
Good morning, Stuart Wilson from DuBois County 911. I provided some documents from PSC that they sent over after a discussion with Darren Brown, their president and CEO. Essentially, they're going to refund us a bunch of charges that we shouldn't have been charged in the first place, going back to 2012. They've asked for a release to be signed that basically absolves them of any going back on them. They're going back far more years than what they would be required to, or we could seek repayment for. The charges stem from 911 circuitry fees that were billed monthly from PSC and at the time Frontier for many years. We paid substantial amounts of money to those vendors to deliver 911 calls to our center. Nothing ever changed. The bill stayed the same. In my a little over 4.5 years as director, it had never changed. And we continued sending the claims. They continued billing, and we continued paying the claims for that entire time, going back all the way to 2012. So fortunately, Spencer County's 911 director was doing her due diligence after they had some changes at their county and asked PSC, what are these charges for, asked for a better explanation. And I think due to turnover of all of the positions, our center, Spencer County positions within PSC, nobody really has an answer. And when they investigated, they realized, well, we should not have been billed. So I feel like they're definitely doing the right thing for all of these organizations and going back and refunding 100% of the money, since they are a good partner, I think, with our county as a whole, but definitely with 911, they're a great organization. And we've had a positive relationship, and they're treating us accordingly. So that money was paid with 911 surcharge dollars. It would just revert back into that surcharge account. The state 911 board is aware. I've had some discussion with them about it. Every county that PSC business was impacted, which is a portion of our county, a portion of Pike, the majority of Spencer, the majority of Perry, I think maybe part of Crawford. We were all impacted at different levels because of the amount of subscribers that were involved in the billing problem. So I'm disappointed that I wasn't the person that found it, but I'm fortunate that Spencer County's director did find it, and it's all being taken care of, and we'll be made whole with it. So
Are these funds that we were still paying as of when this was discovered?
yeah, I had a claim prepared.
And so they cease, those payments are ceased now because
They
of
are
changes?
ceased, so we have zero charges for those 911 call delivery, which, we've gone from nearly $7,000 a month in phone billing to zero with the new changes and the new structure, partially with the new center and other changes at the state level. So we are saving a lot of money. It's not general fund dollars, it is state surcharge dollars, so it's, it doesn't help our general fund monies, but it is $7,000 of money that we're not spending that we could send in other directions. That state surcharge money supports a large amount of salaries and benefits for our staff. So it's definitely a big win for the county. And to get the money back gets us out of a really tight situation we were in. Gives us some breathing room that we did not have prior to this.
That's good. And what about with Frontier? Is that a situation where they need to be contacted to get money?
They have, we ceased all that structure that I would refer to as traditional wireline, like copper lines, doing call deliveries. When we moved, that structure changed. So we abandoned the copper line delivery and we moved to an IP-based delivery at the new center, and then those charges stopped. We had a hard time getting it stopped because Frontier is pretty difficult to work with, and they don't want to stop taking your money. So we had about a 6-week back and forth before we would get the charges stopped, but I think since October of last year, we haven't received any charges. So that, coupled with our traditional business lines being migrated to the rest of the county system through Sandy and her office kind of manages, we have no phone bill every month.
I think I was thinking of the old bills that we were paying, because that's what these PSC ones
We
are.
were.
They may be responsible for paying us a certain portion, but they're being a good partner, they're paying us for all of it.
Correct.
I just didn't know if there was a Frontier portion from back in the day that we could go after.
No, there's not. The Frontier services that we paid for were reevaluated probably about 2 years before we moved and adjusted. Some of the charges went down, some of them went up. But along the same lines, it all had to do with call delivery for 911 calls only. And those charges were, the state negotiated with Frontier to take over everything anyway. And
So there's nothing there. Got it.
nothing.
So this is good news, and is there an ordinance, or is there something we need to take to collect the dollars, or just an agreement?
There was a signature page, but that is at page 2, Sandy.
I know I read it on, by email, but I didn't remember what the details were.
And then we'll get, yeah, they did provide the outdated contracts, 2 of them, one from near 911 Center's inception that we worked under for a long time, and then another one that was very dated. Of course, none of us know about those with the turnover of all of the people involved.
Right, constantly changing,
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes you just don't,
right,
you don't know.
right.
It's, I don't like that I let it go, or, slip through the cracks, but
If you're gonna miss something, make sure there's a good payout.
there is a good
That's the
payout.
only thing we ask of.
So, I'm just really happy that PSC is doing the right thing.
Commissioner Huster, will you read the amount of money again?
$43,232.37.
43? Yeah.
43,232.37.
Okay. So I would make a motion that we accept the money and we sign the document and thank PSC for stepping up and doing that.
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Sandy, do you want to get that executed, you want to scan it back to me and then I'll send it, or do you want to send it?
Yes, since it did that, you
Okay. Chad, I provided you some email updates on other things that we really can't talk about. It's just too early yet. I don't have enough information.
I saw some came in, but I didn't read them yet.
I'll get on the agenda when I have more information about the building items.
So you want to give any updates on the department? How's the building still going? How are the staff? So the staff, it's always a good thing whenever we haven't had to go through that process in, 17 months or
17 months, we're still setting a record on our employee retention. We do have a couple people that are looking to pursue jobs in law enforcement, which it's personal growth for them, and I support their decisions and their pursuits. So far, we haven't had anybody that's been able to get a job offer, so they're still working for us. We're fully staffed at 17. We are doing more than we've ever done as far as community outreach things. It's allowed me to have some more free time to work with things at the state level with a group of 911 directors that's involved in 911 and 988 interoperability. So there's things with crisis intervention team that's happening locally that we're gonna take part in and be on the same side of and all work together. It's the breathing room is nice to be able to expand on what we're doing administratively, or we've got some supervisors in the center that are taking on additional responsibilities. Was a long-term goal, was to have me not be the only guy. I want other people to do other things and have some employee growth. And it gives us some redundancy. If I'm not the guy anymore, we have somebody else that's able to pick up the slack. So we operate with our systems with a ton of redundancy, and we definitely should operate staff-wise with a ton of redundancy as well. So that, not having to run a hiring process every 6 weeks is,
That frees up some time.
yeah, you have some time to do things. So, but we're cruising along pretty nicely. The building's going well.
I think
Just a
Jasper,
couple of minor hiccups.
I think Jasper in the media last week when they had their Board of Public Works, possibly they talked about the geofencing.
They did.
And for this board, what that means is now if you're in Jasper and you make a cell phone call, if you're within the city limits, then it goes to Jasper, they would pick that up. So if it's a law enforcement issue, you're probably gonna get your law enforcement a little faster. If it's a medical issue, then it still gets transferred to us, correct?
That is correct.
Whereas before, it might have been the opposite. So it seems like Jasper's happy with it, their call volume is up.
They are. I think for their police department in particular, it is in their best interest for it to be that way. I've got mixed feelings about it because I continue to be very focused on the medical side of what we do. It definitely has reduced the number of transfers between the centers. I'm going to withhold judgment on until later in the year. We're gonna meet with the vendor that does that work and the state board sometime late this year and kind of evaluate where we're at with it. I spoke with the director of the statewide board when we were at a conference a couple weeks ago. And I said, well, we'll get together at the end of the year. I want to have a good data set to look at. We just made that cut over in September, and I think it's just too early to know. It definitely is going to lead to an increase in the number of calls that are landing at Jasper PD Center. It could lead to, there will be a decrease in the number of calls landing at our center. I don't know what those real numbers are going to be until we have a chance to look at the data. We have some data reporting tools that it is going to be black and white, and I think we'll evaluate that data and try to, fortunately, between the two centers, I think we've been very good about keeping opinions and emotions out of working together with them, and it's led to a really good partnership. I think, I would imagine they're pretty happy. They battled their own staffing issues, which is, we've been at before. Hopefully they can get those taken care of. They have some incredible dispatchers and we've got good people in charge at the police department. And I hope that we can keep a strong relationship with them. It's big changes, but changes like that are occurring all over the state, particularly in university police departments want that same process done. If they have their own dispatch, say IU police department would be the closest one that's local to us. They want to receive their calls for service first, without it going to Monroe County Central Dispatch and then being transferred to them.
So the number of calls that you would say are for police versus medical, what's the
I
ratio?
have rough estimates, about 2/3 within the city of that we were transferring, about 2/3 were police matters and about 1/3 of calls were medical.
So overall, if that's the case, then you're getting more calls to the right place quicker, but they're just not the
Yeah.
medical calls.
The only hangup, one of the biggest hangups that I have with it is discussing the value or the weight of that call. So a barking dog complaint, not very important. Doesn't really matter where it lands, and if it takes a minute to transfer, not a minute. If you lose a little time, it's not critical. This morning, we fielded a call, and I was a patient in a nursing home, and probably the patient would have been receiving good medical attention, but he's having a heart attack. It is very time critical. So there was a lot of back and forth. It's very time critical if somebody's breaking into your house. You need police
Sure.
right now.
Right.
So it's hard to know what those real numbers are. The simple numbers of the transfers, I don't think it tells the full tale. I don't know how we get there. When the advisory board voted to make the change, I was concerned. I mean, I'm always going to be concerned. It's what we do. It's what I do as director. It's my job to be concerned. If I thought something was horribly off the rails, I would be telling everybody that this is horribly off the rails. I think it's going to be nearly a wash where I don't have a strong opinion one way or the other.
There's not a
because
perfect solution in this one.
There's not.
This is make some improvements and make some things
Well,
lower.
in a county with 2 911 centers, there's not a perfect solution.
Right.
It's as simple as that. It's, when you're splitting those calls amongst two different places, this is what you have. I think we do a very good job at both centers managing and keeping delays to a minimum. And when we're talking delays, we're not talking minutes, we're talking seconds every time.
Right.
Typical call transfers are happening within 20 or 30 seconds. These are, it is minuscule, and I think Chad brought up at an advisory board meeting one time that probably the best summarization of what we're doing is we're polishing perfection when we're talking about improving these processes. It's not that we're not meeting the standard and now we need to meet a standard. This is working on improvements that is already a very good situation.
If it takes 20 seconds, we want to get it to 15.
Yeah.
And the standard might be 30.
And then I want it to be 10. And then, I always want to improve. So
If you're
Yeah,
able to throw
overall-
those couple minutes or seconds, they're
it
everything.
can really matter. It can really matter to our calls.
Anybody have anything else for Mr. Wilson?
No.
Okay, thank you for the update. Appreciate it.
Thank you for what you do.
Appreciate it.
Anybody want a break now? Still good to go?
We're good.
Okay.
You're making a mess.
Do we have some surplus items?
Shaking my drink.
Yeah. I did this. Here. I did, I used to.
All right, for the board, we have, this is from the health department. They were matching their laptop surplus to the inventory, and there were a couple items that were missed and need to be declared surplus. So these are laptops, health department computer 42 and 26. I'll move that we declare those items surplus to be disposed of.
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
Nope.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Another issue to discuss is Mr. Rhodes and myself and he'd been talking to someone else as well, but to make a long story short, we had a a department head meeting last week, and one of the issues that we talked about was the Deaconess Clinic that the county has signed up to be a part of. And so Kenley, a representative from Deaconess, who represents our area, gave a presentation to the department heads. And one of the things that was interesting about it, that I thought was something that we hadn't heard here in the meeting, was that anyone in the household will be covered, even if they're not a covered person. So let's say that it's me, wife, child, and grandma lives with me,
Okay,
right? So grandma might not be on my insurance policy, but grandma can go to this clinic as long as Mr. Rhodes keeps them on the census of who's eligible for those households. And so that was interesting and kind of exciting to some of the employees. And also, if you have a student in college in Evansville, that they're part of your household, if they're on the census, and Marky will keep this up regularly, that person can go to the clinic in Evansville. Because Deaconess has clinics, I don't remember how many locations there are, but let's say there's 10 of them.
right.
Our staff could go to those as well. And also the neat thing is that there's Saturday hours at one of the Evansville locations. So if you had something up there on Saturday, or something you needed to go to the clinic for and you wanted to go to Evansville, that's open to us as well. So I thought it was a pretty good presentation. Mr. Rhodes did send out the presentation, talked about the open enrollment, the Samaritan Fund. Deaconess will also do, we had teledoc or telehealth assistance situation. Deaconess has one of those themselves, so we won't be renewing with teledoc. We'll be doing the Deaconess version of it. So there's multiple of those things that are replacing costs that we already have. So if this is, I don't remember the dollar figure, $115,000 a year, well, we save $7,000 of that on teledoc. We save $20,000 of that on the yearly physicals and things that we do, right? So multiple things are cutting into that. The free medication, I hate saying free, the included medications, those are things that we would be paying out of pocket additional. So a lot of this it just seems like it's really, again, it hasn't been open a single day yet that we've participated, but I anticipate that it will be a good thing. They also are covering the DOT screenings, sports physicals, if employees have children that want those. Walk-ins will be allowed. Those aren't preferred, of course, but if you need to do a walk-in, that would be allowed. But one of the things that I wanted to bring up for our consideration is we have a few state employees here with the county that are also, we give stipends to. That would be the prosecutor and both judges.
Right.
And I wanted to bring that for this board's consideration if we want to offer this clinic. So we don't give them health care because they have state health care. So they get that benefit through there. But I wanted to see if we wanted to, just as a kind gesture to them, as a benefit and thank you for the work that they do for the county, if we wanted to consider offering the clinic to the judges and the prosecutors.
I think we should.
Yep.
I read that email.
So,
Do you put them on our insurance then?
no, not on our insurance, just we offered the clinic
Just on the census for the question.
clinic only.
Yeah.
And there again, the Deaconess folk, we have to work with them to see if that's going to be allowed. But I think if we pay them per employee per month, they would be okay with it. And that's so it looks like we have consensus that that's something that we would approve. We don't have to approve it yet because we have to make sure that it's even something that we can approve. They will accept those people. But, I think that'd be a nice gesture to them.
I agree. Yeah, I read that email.
Did you guys also get the email from the state that had that went through that showed what the state's benefit levels were? Did you see that one? I think it was just from this weekend. Long story short, check it out, please, because if you're a state employee, your deductibles are out. They went up a bunch. The amount that they pay every month on.
I think I did.
They had 3 different tiers that you could do it, and I mean, there's like
Yes,
7,000 out of
I saw
pocket,
that.
10,000 out of pocket.
Yes, I saw that.
So sometimes people say, well, if I work for the state, I can get paid better. and you can, but you may be paying $6,000 more out of pocket for insurance.
Yes.
And part of the,
Plus the premiums.
right, the premiums are higher, deductibles are higher, max out of pockets are higher. Their network, I don't know if their network's different or better, but I would assume that they're probably on like a
Yeah, I
a
saw
different
the
one than
different
Dakota Valley.
tiers.
But yeah, they are, so we were far surpassing them on benefit value. And then this year they've added thousands, multiple thousands to each one of those, so. Yeah,
It's,
anyway, just something to, just some neat things with that clinic and some of the good things that we're doing in Du Bois County for our staff. Next up, we have a financial software from Mr. Grolick and Auditor Moore.
Good morning, good morning.
good morning.
Craig Grolick, West County Treasurer. So wanted to,
I have it.
okay, that, but also wanted to provide you this bid that Sandy. So before we talk about this, can I piggyback a little bit what you're talking about, Chad, for the meeting, the department head meeting? I think on there too was about an additional credit card for some county employees. So Sandy and I have been working with. Pardon?
Our travel credit card.
Okay. So talk with German American, who we have all of our accounts with, and so they will be willing to do whatever we would like to do. If we want to do an additional card with a $5,000 limit or whatever we would like to do, they're okay with that.
So
So,
for the board update, we have 2 credit cards. One, if you want to travel, we could, Mr. Grolick come in, check it out. He goes to the treasurer's conference. He uses it to check into his hotel. He takes along the property or the sales tax exemption, and it works out smoothly that way. The other credit card is for people who make purchases. Mike, tell me if I'm wrong on any of this. And so one of the ideas was, can we get a duplicate travel credit card with the same account number so that Mr. Grolick can go, and then if a different department needs to go at the same time, it just lessens the amount of people that it's going to be hassle or that they can't go. And of course, we can always still do the checks like we've done traditionally, but there's fewer people that are taking those. So Mr. Grolick took it upon himself to look into that for us, so that's what.
yeah, so that's where it's at.
So they say
Ultimately,
that
we
they
have to
will
set what
probably-
the amount would be, if it's 5,000 or, I don't know,
Currently, our
10,000.
travel is at 5,000.
Okay. So if we would,
Do you have, are you prepared for us to take action on that today, or are you still something the two of you want to look
Well,
into, and then
before
we'll?
we can move forward, we need to know, do you want us to raise it, lower it, keep it the same?
5,000, the history as to what it's been and not a problem before.
When we had it down at 2, it was a problem, so
So
then
I'm
we
sure,
raised it to
I'm
5.
sure.
Mhm.
If you don't see 5 as a problem, we can keep it at
It's not
5.
been a problem.
And do you see it as tracking is going to be much more difficult to track a
We just
second
have one
person?
more card to keep track of.
So that's the only reason I would say I didn't want to say go for it if it's going to be more inconvenience or more hassle.
Right.
I don't want to hand them out to departments and say, here's a card for your office, here's a card. I think
Right.
that puts us at a big liability
Mhm.
and risk.
No, I think having it under your,
But people are checking it in and out. And we have and we keep a log, so.
you're still occasionally having an issue with somebody not keeping a receipt or paying tax or something happening.
Sometimes people pay tax on it, sometimes people forget to take the travel card with them, then we have to deal with the hotel. Sometimes they want to know who's an authorized user, and I have to send a letter saying they are an authorized user, so, those are just issues we deal with.
Having an additional card won't be an additional burden, not much of an additional burden. I'd make a motion that we approve the treasurer and auditor to work towards obtaining a second credit card to be used for travel within the same lending or the same credit limit.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Anything else from Mr. Grolick on that
I
issue?
think that covers it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. Okay.
And again, if we can not inconvenience another office, then it's not a lot more work. A good thing.
Right. Yeah. Okay, good. All right, so I'm here. This is kind of a piggyback to my meeting that I had with you guys. I presented something that potentially could be coming up is Lao is the name of the company. So they do a lot of software which is geared towards the auditor side and also the treasurer side. And at the time when I presented it, we weren't ready for it because we really hadn't been presented the information that we needed, and I'm not sure that I was ready for it, and I know Sandy wasn't ready for it either, so I think we were gathering information, and since that time, we've gathered information, and Sandy was presented a demo on Thursday afternoon, and I believe Brooke also sent you some information via email last week, so everybody has that in front of you.
We, in probably July, went to Davies County to visit their program to see the software actually, well, let's take a step back. We actually had two programs, two different softwares come in. We
Yes.
thought this one would be better suited for us, so we went to go see it in Davies County. Then we also went to visit Pike County last month, and then we had Lau come and give us a demo in our office last week, and my deputies are very excited about all the different things that this can do and offer the county.
Who is the other company that you reviewed?
That's all.
Excellent.
And they just didn't seem like it fit as well?
They were still programming it, they were still in the process of doing some stuff, and we just wanted,
It's not fully baked.
and going to see Pike County, they let us see it from the start, when they took us to the highway department, where they actually do online claims, they're paperless in Pike County. We're not quite ready for that step, they were on it for 2 years before they went to that, so we had to learn it first and then, but it has so many more things for the county than what we're currently having.
Have they added something to it recently that they didn't have before? Because it seemed like we were not in favor of it as much in past years.
Are you talking, we're not looking at the property tax side, we're looking at the financial side.
Mhm.
They have both, but we're,
Okay, you're not doing
we're only looking at the financials.
Okay.
Since his office is having some issues with his shutting down, freezing, losing data, our side's on a different program than him, but nobody will really take just him.
is that the Harris part?
Yes, if somebody's taking him, they want both of us.
Okay.
So that's what prompted me to look, plus the system we're on, we got 25 years ago, it just doesn't have all the bells and whistles.
And you and I had talked about this.
And I think we're coming to a point where
Okay.
uploading and
Sure.
paperless and ACH claims are important.
Sure.
And Brooke, if you read, obviously you have
Well,
read this.
Brooke and Stacy and Brenda all were involved, and they all wrote those notes that were forwarded to me.
I had highlighted a few of them on here that I
Yeah.
thought was really, really important.
Yeah.
I'm in
And I
favor.
think with them, they're the ones who do the behind the scenes work, and if they see the value in this, then I feel like it's, obviously has some teeth.
There's
No, the
also a
papers are
work
hard.
component to it. And you could add a timekeeping component as well, but we're taking baby steps here.
So,
Sure.
So Lau has something like a Paycor or a,
It's called
I saw.
attendance on demand.
and they first would have to log in the morning, probably go through two-step verification protocol, multi-factor, and then
Most things are on here. Doink, you check
the bad
it,
thing about those
you geofence them.
is people cheat and then you
You
gotta deal with that.
geofence them where they have to be on location.
Oh. Oh.
At other
But
employees
that's-
in the county, they've had people where they're on the, why did you punch out of work when you were 15 minutes from home or 15 minutes from the location, so.
Right.
But if you geofence them, they have to be on,
Does that cause additional problems? Because what if
well, we're
somebody
not to that step yet.
if somebody works 34 hours and 40 minutes, and they're supposed to work 35, how do we handle it? Because now they just
Well,
write down
that's-
that they were here for 35.
Like I said, that, we're not ready for that component yet. We're
Okay.
still looking at just
Baby steps.
maybe converting the financials.
Right.
Maybe something.
Payroll. I mean,
Okay. Because I was gonna say, one of my questions on the first page of these notes was, the system allows departments to enter their payroll tracking of hours, budgets, claims, and more. And I just didn't know if we were comfortable with them doing that.
Well, instead of them doing the paper when they're doing now, they just go in and enter it, and it would automatically hit our side, so we don't have to manually
Right.
enter it, it's there.
2 times over.
We do audit it, and we have to approve it.
It just saves one additional step of inputting it again. It saves them from having to
Well,
handwrite it.
it stops the paper process, getting the paper in there,
Yeah.
taking it.
Please continue, I'm sorry, I
Well, to be honest with you, I don't know that I add a lot more value because I wasn't at the presentation for the auditor side. So what Sandy's referring to is all the things that are important on her
Our
side.
side.
Yeah.
The second page, it says upload taxables. I didn't know what that meant. Will eliminate manual processing.
I think that's the tax rates that come out from the federal government. I think they automatically upload those versus putting, I didn't write that, I don't know.
Mr. Rock, so you're on your side of it, you're favorable to this?
Well, to be honest, we have not received our presentation yet. We're doing a demo. We got scheduled for November 19th, but talking to other counties, I can't imagine that I would have a tough time believing that anything they present to us would be negative. Everybody that has switched over to Lao has been saying how much things have improved and nothing but positive things. So I can't imagine that there's anything they could present to us that would say, oh, we better not do this.
So we're not ready
So-
for approval at this time, but
Correct.
we're bringing it up, it's gonna be, I haven't looked at the thing, but I'm sure it's going to be
Right.
significant.
Yes, it is. Plus there's a deadline on this as well by the end of the year in order to take advantage of a discount.
And what we'd like to do is, we're presenting it to you all, then we'd like to present it to the council, ask for the funding. And then hopefully, if everything works out, next year we'll be under conversion and go live sometime during next year.
Right.
I mean, it is gonna be a process, it's not gonna be something that you snap your fingers and go, we're gonna be working in 2 systems.
For quite a while.
Yeah, that's how I anticipate us doing it, is we would have our Harris and then Lao, and we make sure to, at the end of every day, that we're getting the same number that we're supposed to, because realizing that we're gonna be learning, and we wanna make sure our numbers are always gonna hit.
It's my hopes when I leave office to leave it better than I found it. And this would be one step to do that.
Talks about streamlined payments by ACH, would that replace the majority of our manual checks, you think?
We would start doing ACH payments versus check payments.
So that'll be.
The system we have now can do that. It's just not as convenient.
Or secure maybe.
Well, we pay people out of it now, so it is. I mean, it's just the payroll AP side has never been totally implemented.
One of the things they brought up as a pro of you doing this, it says fewer checks outstanding that must be managed. Some checks have been outstanding for years and must be tracked. So that makes complete sense to me. I understand how that works, but how does an ACH work when it gets rejected? Because I'm sure if the check doesn't get there, there's gonna be cases where the ACH, you send it, either you have they provided the wrong number, the routing number, something's wrong.
That's correct. So
It
we
happens
would have,
now with payroll.
It just
Yes.
forces you to manage it immediately.
Correct.
instead of
We
when
would-
it's it.
let's say you're switching yours from a checking to a savings, you provide us with a number is incorrect. So we send to you, we'll get a rejection. So we'll look at who it is, we'll get back in touch with you, hey, Chad, this number is incorrect, you provide us a new one, and then we would resend again. the
We
next
do
day.
the same thing with a company.
That's
If you
right.
like paid, it didn't work.
Correct. Jury pay, that's where I think a lot of our outstanding checks are,
Well, they recommended when we were in our training, those still go by check.
okay,
For which ones?
Jury pay,
Why is that?
because they're trying to get their bank account information for a one-time deal
Especially when there's 50 of them sometimes.
or more.
That makes sense.
yeah. I mean, because we would have the routing number. If we know the bank, we have all the routing numbers, just the account number would be the challenge. So it's a,
You take a 7 as a 1 or a.
Well, sometimes people don't give us the right account numbers, believe it or not, or they'll say it's a checking account, it's really a savings account. So we do get bounce backs now on payroll.
but I think the interesting thing is too, when I submit my claim for myself for the hotel room and I get a check, and I always struggle with, well, you haven't paid my pay, you get my account number, let's go ahead. So this year would help move all the county employees who file claims for themselves. And everything's just gonna be a little bit smoother. Things will automatically, less check writing. I mean, we write, I don't know, I'm gonna say 450 checks at least a month per claim. That's not even counting when we have juries, jury trials. So there's 450 times 12
Times
plus
74 cents.
postage. I mean, it's a pretty large number of cost that's out there. So there's
I bet it
a
won't be
savings.
nearly as much as the cost of the solution.
Oh, no, yeah, you may not want to look at it right away. So,
But what
but no,
wanna
I am
say
sitting
is,
down. Yes,
We purchased our softwares 25 years ago, so you've got 25 years off of that cost from the previous purchase.
But they still charge us every year too.
Only the maintenance fee.
And I'm not saying I'm against it. I've been in favor of some of these things for a long time. And
Right.
it always just shocks me.
correct. Yeah, the upfront cost is hurtful. It's a,
Well, you know what, if you don't approve it, get some skin off my teeth, I'm only here another year. I'm willing to help convert.
well, and so I'm glad you said that. So here's my thought is, so we have Sandy who has 30 plus years retiring at the end of the year. And we have Laurel who works in my office, who's been here for over 30 years as well. So treasurer's office, auditor's office works hand in hand. And it's very important that they do this. I feel like if we do this now, starting next year, we have 2 experienced individuals that can help us get through any situation or things. Hey, did you think about this? Because it's always important for when the auditors come in, because they're asking for this information. Well, Laurel seems to know all the answers. I mean, I don't. She does. She knows the answers, and I'm thankful for that. So she's always one step ahead of us. And that's the last thing we want to do is do it a year later, and we lost all that experience that we can't fall back on.
There will be a lot of change. Our account numbers will all have to change. Our fund numbers will all have to change. So people will have to learn.
But you guys don't see all those things. That's something
I
that we
think
see.
in the long run,
Mhm.
the employees, the department heads will like it in the future.
Right.
One of the things listed, this would be, I think, my final comment on it, says daily instead of monthly balancing with the treasurer for the financial accounting. I thought you do monthly balance, or you do balancing every day already, right?
We do not balance every day. We balance every month.
With the bank or
No,
each other.
I'm talking between the two
Between the
offices.
offices, yes.
I thought there was paperwork back and forth every day to balance. Maybe my memory's just off.
We are required monthly to be in balance.
Got it.
So at the end of every month, they do that. Brenda and Laurel will do that.
Commissioner Hostetter, comments?
I think if these 2 or 4, it sounds like a good plan. It brings them to the 21st century, right?
Well, we're there. We got our program in 2000. We are there. I don't want to make it sound like we're still with an abacus and we're not.
Right.
Right.
Our system has done us well.
We had talked about this some time ago already, so I've been for it for quite some time. So Sandy and I, her office and I have talked. So, yes.
With the maintenance, the annual fee, I haven't been able to review this. Is there a guarantee for the first so many years that it stays a certain amount, or is it go up every year? Because I know the upfront cost is whatever that is, but I'm talking, they're gonna charge us $50,000 a year for, or 40 or whatever it was for annual maintenance. Is there a guarantee that, or it's, they charge us whatever they choose? going
Correct.
forward?
They did not give me an indication of, like, this is fixed for a certain time. They did not.
I doubt they'll do it, but that might be another thing to ask too. So
Okay.
because if I was the person selling the product, they're already in for 200 grand. So they can charge whatever they want for next year. I'm sure, I think they're probably more of an ethical company than that, but
Right.
I always like to try to protect us and minimize risk.
Well, I would hope the more counties they get, the more they spread that
Yes.
maintenance costs out.
Right.
I don't know if that's gonna happen.
I don't know that answer.
I will ask and
Yeah, that might be a nice thing. So you're not asking for any action today, you're providing this and you'll be back?
Yes.
Well, if you
looking-
were hard against it, there's no use for us to go further.
I'm not
Right.
hard against it myself, and I don't think either of them are.
I think it's great.
Yeah, I would just like to read the,
Okay,
Whatever
yeah,
agreement
so
they
our goal then is to present to the council next week, and see if they're for it, and if they are, then probably get action on it, at the end of the year.
what's our maintenance fees currently?
I don't know, I was hoping you would
It's
ask
almost
that.
nothing, right, for Harris,
But I,
Actually, yours costs more than USS, believe it or not.
was it?
Yeah.
I mean, it was what, $10,000
And
a
we're
year
having
for
the
both
most
of them?
issues with it.
together combined, yeah, 10, 12,000, I think, yeah.
Got it. Well, did you provide Mr. Schneider? Looks like you provided him a copy, so he can look it over too.
Yes.
Anything else?
I don't have any at this time. Thank you very much.
No, that's great, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you all.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, make it a great day.
So I don't remember, folks, if we went over the clerk's report earlier. I know there was
We were,
I don't want
we
to
were
say
looking
more.
at the correction.
you were what?
We were looking at the correction.
Yeah, so anyway, there's been a correction. Does anybody, can we just put it in the minutes that we
Yes.
reviewed it?
Yes,
And that we've got the corrected version there?
I was looking at this as a bid, not an award. I was like, oh, we're 5 minutes late.
Oh, right. Ambulance bid award.
Thanks, Greg.
So at our previous
I
meeting,
do
I
have
believe,
I do have the proof of publications for those. I got them in, so you might want to keep those.
I believe at the previous meeting, we had bid from 3 different companies. They were taken under advisement, they were looked at, and today we're gonna hear from Mr. Young, see what he thinks about them.
Yes, so Ryan Young, the ambulance service director. Looks like the first opening was from Emergency Vehicles Plus, was for 300,000. Here somewhere, 334, 897. I did have some issues with their bid. They had some, they did not have a front liquid spring quoted, which was in the packet. And then there were several things that they were quoted as will replace if needed, and not replace. So definitely had some concerns with that.
Mr. Schneider, would that be a non-responsive bid since they didn't have the appropriate required requirements?
Could be, yes.
The second bid was from McQueen, it was 298, 698. Didn't really see anything that jumped out at me in that bid. I think it was fine. And then the third bid was from American Response Vehicles, it was for 276, 600. Did not see anything in that one either that would cause for concern. Both the later two, the McQueen is who we did the 2 remounts with previously, and then the American Response Vehicle is who we had purchased the new vehicles from. So both of those companies we've purchased before and have had relatively good luck with.
Okay, so the 276,600, right, is that the exact amount? 276,600?
Yeah.
Okay. That is the lowest, most responsive bid. You're comfortable with that one? Is that your recommendation that we accept that bid?
Yes.
This board?
What was the name of the company?
American Response.
American Response Vehicles.
Commissioner Stefano, questions, comments, concerns?
No questions. Ryan has reviewed them and I'm comfortable with his choice.
Commissioner Hostetter?
They sound like the correct choice to me.
I'll move that we approve awarding the ambulance bid to American Rescue Vehicle in the amount of $276,600.
I'll second.
Yeah, any other discussion?
Was it American Response or American Rescue Vehicles?
I wrote down response.
Response, you said rescue, just want to make sure you give it to the right folks.
Okay. American
Response Vehicles is the bidder.
Okay, American Response Vehicles. I only wrote down RES, so I guess I need to be a little better with my notes. So we have a first and a second. Any other discussion on this?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Ryan, for doing all that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's just take one quick minute and we'll get back to it.
So the emergency vehicle plus, do I have what, or do I need?
Missing components.
Good, it did meet the specs.
Could we do this? Yes, and then
Yes.
she can get you guys.
Sure was talking to me, so.
But you gotta order them back.
Obviously.
There was,
I gotta take out of there.
two laptops.
On your phones, like a couple of computers.
You guys are more entertaining.
New. Maybe the next one is a signature.
Maybe it's not.
Or their spouses.
Yeah.
The first one is
True, well,
I mean,
yeah, take what they say. They're actually-
they have teenagers, they keep, you know.
It's all right, you'll have to drive slower.
Yeah, but words, what's all that?
He's gotta get other people to do it.
Yeah. That's always an issue.
That's good, thanks.
Yeah.
It's so rare that they lose the track.
I gotta run the fence. So this is,
This is their own premise.
Right.
I used to get going on trips.
Sunday morning. See that?
Sandy, I'm excited about that, Lao.
It's gonna be,
See that?
On
Yeah, like
shore.
this.
I don't like the way that you market it. The intersection, submitting their stuff, and then I like the part about And I'd rather do it sooner than later before.
Yeah. In fact, when all good party was there. Oh, is there football season going? I didn't realize that. Yeah, I know, basketball.
Let's invest in football.
You know, all you gotta do is have an alumni who's a billionaire, and then you can be good at anything.
Yeah, you're right.
In the days of
They
NIL.
can run their own financial reports instead of requesting them from you all the time.
State goes with that state next year. That's it.
Yeah.
So
It's
we
awesome.
should go, but if they make it, could be the last time for a while. And then you sign that big contract.
Every year for 8 years.
I use mistake.
Yeah.
I mean, the recorder just.
No, Mark Cuban made a mistake.
I don't think it's just him.
I just think it's a great, I think it's great.
part of it.
Like I said, you and I have talked about it, you know, specifically the cheaper part of it. Yeah.
In the
Pretty
football
awesome.
school.
Don't you guys roll high for Notre Dame fans?
Oh.
Actually, Indiana is better than Notre Dame right now. In football.
Really, you can get an advantage.
That was just a backup plan that we almost always leaned on,
What's that?
being a Notre Dame fan.
Yeah.
That was the backup plan. If they ever played IU, you'd root for IU, but that was always the backup plan, and it just seemed like we always had to use it.
Hey, we were good in the 60s. All right, let's talk about ordinance number 2025-13. Can I grab it?
13 was already passed during the engineer's report, that dealt with the speed limit
Yes.
change.
Okay.
2025-14 follows up on our last meeting this month on increasing the claims allowed for veterans burial benefits, $300 per the deceased veteran, as well as $300 for the spouse of a veteran, deceased spouse of a veteran.
Okay, so previously the county had a benefit of $100 for the burial, $50 for a marker. We've changed that to a Just a total of $300 to be used by the veteran how they wish, or the veterans survivors. So, yeah, we have an ordinance here. It's an ordinance establishing the new burial allowance. Any discussion on this issue?
No.
Okay, well, I'm gonna make a motion that we approve ordinance number 2025-14.
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Mr. Sharon, thank you for your work putting that together.
Yes.
And thank you to the board for supporting. It's a good thing. It's still not a huge amount, but I think it was time for an update.
Which would become effective for any veteran that dies as of today.
Correct. I think that's,
So we may have claims in process, which
You might have some holes there.
All right.
Wine's cracking me all morning.
I find that hard to believe.
he wants to see it.
Does even do, or Pat, of the
any claim submitted after October 1st is not to pay, so if the claim was submitted in September, it's still overruled.
Okay,
If that makes sense.
okay.
But really, we would only still pay what they claimed. Right, you don't change the claim amount.
Right.
Now they're allowed to claim more. Okay. Let's keep rolling here. Before we move on to any public comment, we have a couple of folks in the crowd. Anything, okay, just here to visit?
Good.
So again, from earlier, I'll talk with Marky about offering the clinic to those state/county employees, so we'll do that. I did want to bring up the Mid-States Corridor. There was some action that took place there. So I took part in a Mid-States Corridor meeting on Friday night with people that you may have seen in the media that they had 5 different meetings last week at different places. These are people that are part of the Property Rights Alliance and the Stop the Mid-States Corridor people. They had a moderated event. The one I went to is at the Jasper Outdoor Rec. They had TV screens up so people could see kind of some of the things they were talking about. And it was very well attended, and I think they have 2 more of those this week. One tonight and one tomorrow. Tonight is at the Teen Outback, and the one tomorrow is at the clubhouse. So there was a city elected official there and myself, and people there were kind, respectful. They were trying to just share facts about the project. So yeah, they were grateful that we were there. So if you had the time or the inclination to attend, I'm sure they'd be happy to see you with those. And also this Wednesday is the open house that Lockmuir and NDOT has for the public, and that will be, I believe, at 5:30 at the Jasper Middle School for people to get a chance to see the blow-ups of the maps, to hear a presentation, and just get an update on what the project is. I think one of the complaints from local people is that you sit in the auditorium, it's a one-way communication from NDOT and Lockmuir. Here's what it is. Now go out in the hallway, and if you want to talk to us, we'll talk to you individually. So that kind of rubs some people the wrong way. But on the other hand, I can see from the NDOT Lockmuir side that we're not there to have an argument, right? That you don't want people from the crowd yelling things, or I could see where it could be a mess doing it in an alternative way. But this is the way they have it set up. So that if you want to get information, that'd be, if you're a member of the public, that's a place to do it.
You say at the middle school?
Yes, I believe so. Jasper Middle School. And I've been to those before too, and they're well attended, and there is information that you can get if you're there to have a fight or an argument. Probably not I don't know, that's not really the purpose of it, but in my experience, most of the people on both sides are kind and respectful to each other and.
We've done the same thing at VUJC too. A similar thing.
Mhm. So I wanted to say, just to give an update on that, to say that, been trying to pay attention to that. I've got several emails with, just the people involved with it. Kiana Wheeler is the project manager for the Mid-States Corridor. I sent a number of questions to her yesterday. Had a meeting with a member of with some of the RDA people. Met with some people that are opposed to the road, so just trying to keep educated on it and see where we are. Another recommendation I would have for anybody that has 3 hours to spend is the Mid-States Corridor Screening of Alternatives Report. This is what came out within the last several weeks, and it talks about all the updates of where the project is. There's a lot of information here, and I won't bore you with all of it, but it talks about the roads that will be dead-ended, the roads that will have J-turns, the roads that will have. So those are, I don't want to come off that I'm taking a big negative approach to it. What I want to say is there are some things that are just can be of concern to people. And then on the other side, that they also talk about the benefit of time savings from various points in the community. So on top of that, started getting some more anti-Mid-States Corridor emails. I don't know if you guys have.
Yeah.
They're opposed, like this person, they said that
Letters,
it'll
emails.
affect their farm, their son's house, negatively impact every resident of the region.
Right.
They say their opinion is that the tier 1 and tier 2 studies have proven there's no need for the road. It's a detriment to local residents. One thing that people have said multiple times is, wouldn't this money be better used for something else like the wellness center or something else? And I don't have a very big microphone, so it's not like I can tell everybody this, but it's like, if the money doesn't get spent on the road, it's not that the county gets to say, we're gonna do other initiatives with the money. If it doesn't get spent here, NDOT has a budget, and if it doesn't get spent here, it's gonna get spent somewhere else, most of this money, I would say. Is that wrong, Levi? Is that a fair way of putting it? I mean, as far as just from the financial standpoint, NDOT has a budget and the money goes somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, for the state funding part of it at least.
How that all gets divided, that's the big picture. I'm not certain what all goes where, how they decide that,
But we do know for sure, if they were gonna spend $1 million here and they don't spend it here, they're probably gonna take it to another county and spend it. They're not just gonna sit on the money. I mean, road projects will get done somewhere. So ideally, it'd be great if the Du Bois County Board of Commissioners, being the smartest people around, right? If they gave us the full use of that money, but that's not how that works. It's not our money to make decisions upon.
It's not for us to say.
Also, on the 16th last week, we had a meeting with public officials, and Donnie and Levi both attended as well, talking about the project. I'll just give you my quick notes. It said that that they're proposing a 4-lane divided highway, that $1.1 billion price tag. For the construction portion of it does include a 20% contingency. So I guess it's the estimated construction cost is a little lower than that, but you got to add the contingency in there. They're considering several access variations, because as I read through this and I look at the things they put out, I'm like, oh God, dead end here, dead end there, and
You see the sign.
all that. It's like, wow, this is really, but I think I don't think it's in concrete. So if the road does come out, I think there's still gonna be time for the highway department, for the commissioners, to the city people to say, that's not gonna work
Right.
there.
Right. Yeah, it's in the early stages of organizing all
They
that.
just keep kind of refining it, so they keep trying to get it down to a thing, but I don't think it's there yet. They did say that tier 2 will not study the no-build option, and they will not study the upgrading of the 231. So those things are not part of this. People on that meeting voiced their concerns with the J-turns and the problems that could bring. And NDOT people, or the locking, I'm not sure which one, said that the decisions they are making are based on performance. is their thought on it. And for the county engineer, I know I think you had mentioned a concern with 400 South. If you guys know what 400 South is in Huntingburg, when you come into Huntingburg, you take a left. If you took a right, you would go to the hotel, right? The hotel right where you come in. You take a left, and that turns into, wait, no, is that? Yeah, that one turns into 400 South. And that's the one that goes down the hill and it floods in that area. And there's a little bridge. We put the cross arms there. I think he voiced some concerns there too, and I do too, because they really have a lot going on that they're. Do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, my concerns is the property owners located to the east side of the proposed corridor would not have access to go west over to 231. So, especially for farmers in the area, since that's a lot of crop ground, they wouldn't be able to access their crops and go to and from towards 231. They'd have to run south down like Potomac Road, jump on State Road 64, and then they'd be traveling on State Road and also having to go through town. So there's some concern there. And then also Schnellville Road, just making sure Lockmuir and NDOT take into consideration the heavy amount of traffic, especially peak traffic flows on Schnellville Road, to make sure they've got an intersection there that works with the traffic flows. So, and there's a few other little things mentioned, but now's the time that folks have concerns, whether they're for it or against it, to study the report that they shared, which is on Mid-States Corridor's website, the screening of alternatives. Study that, study the intersections, and share your comments, concerns, any questions you have, because that's going to help. These intersections are not nailed down. They need to be refined. Lockmuir and NDOT said they need to be refined. These are just variations, some preliminary proposed plans of these intersections that can change, but without input from the public, it's going to be hard to take all that into consideration if they're not. They need to be, these comments need to be shared with them. So,
And from us, I mean, they've been receptive to the problems that we brought forth.
yeah,
And the report even says, due to local concerns of cities and the county.
they're reaching out to us asking, where's it flooding at? Because we put a corridor through here, they put a corridor through there. We want to make sure, well, if it floods over here, even if it's further away, those folks aren't being landlocked. So they're looking at the big picture. They are reaching out to us, they're asking us questions. But we're just one group here to share comments, questions, concerns. We're going to fall back on others too to make sure that we can't take everything into consideration. We'll do the best we can, but folks have been living here for many years. They know the roads well.
I try to keep a pretty good feel on what's happening and where it's at, but as I read through this, there were things that were surprising to me. One of them that was interesting to me was the way I had always envisioned it in my head was that US 231, the current US 231, a person, if you needed to get from Dale to whatever, St. Henry, somewhere down in that southern part of the county, if you needed to take 231 from, and you wanted to use all the local 231, now it's a county and city road, we took it over, that you would be able to take it from the north part of the county up to the south part, to the north part of the county. But there's according to this, there's multiple places where it dead ends. They're dead ending part of 231 I saw two places where it dead ends, where you'd be forced to take an alternative county road, or you'd have to be forced to get on the Mid-States corridor to get somewhere. So I was like, oh wow, because they have like a little symbol that looks like a cul-de-sac. So like that was one thing that stood out to me. I'm like, wow, I didn't know that was gonna happen. Did you have something else?
No, I was just looking to see on the map here exactly what you're talking about. Something I did request from Lockmuir was some additional clarification, some more details given on their exhibits they showed. They show the intersections, but it's not clear what's an at-grade intersection versus grade separation. They're proposing some quadrant intersections. Some are dead ends, some will be J-turns, but most individuals won't be able to understand what that means, and it's even confusing for myself looking at it to know where's the bridge gonna be at, where's the bridge not gonna be at, so that is detailed in the report, but having to take that from the report and pull it out of that and see how that matches up with each intersection, it was difficult to do that, so I asked that if they're asking for input from the public, they need to make it a little more clear to the public on what the intentions are for each intersection. So they said they can do that.
And with Keon, I don't want to drag this out all day, but I will probably have more comments on it at a future meeting. But I did send some issues, some questions, because in here again, it talks about like at County Road 600 North, there might be a access point somewhere over there, or it might be and there might be one on 400 North that they're talking about local, what are the words? Realignment of local roadways is anticipated to maintain access. And realignment basically means you got to have a new road, right? It used to go here, now it's going to go here. And I don't know who's going to pay for those. Right? Is that going to fall on the county's responsibility because it's outside of the corridor? I had always assumed that like on 400 North, if that's going to be an access point, we're probably going to have to widen that road. It's going to have some additional work that needs to be done. I figured some of that would fall on us, but I just want to know what extent, again, because I want to know what the full cost will be for the local people. Because all of these things, it's not just putting a road through. I mean, it's dead-ending roads, putting new access points. I mean, there's a lot of this really lays out some of the new work they're doing. Like right behind the county highway garage, one of them, I think 3B, dead ends the road. So it goes, you can go to the recycling, where you would take your trash and recycling, then it dead ends.
Right.
And then the other one, then they have a new road going up that hill through the farmland, tearing down all those people's homes on top of that. So from the map, it doesn't even look as bad, but knowing the geography of it, I don't even know how the heck they're gonna build that road. And destroying all those, eliminating all those homes up there. Just, yeah, there's a lot to it. And the thing I'd like to hear from maybe the local businesses that are supportive of it, like I asked the question, if you're on Kathy Lane or you're on 15th Street, because I assume there's some truck traffic from up there, what's your access point to get on? I'd always assumed they would go up a little bit of Kellerville Road and you'd get access, and it would be a pretty quick access to them. But they're like, no, they would have to drive up all Kellerville Road all the way up to 400 North, and then you take a more than a 90-degree turn to go west on 400 North to down a hill to get onto the access point. So that would be if they're traveling north, but if they're going south, they would have to go down 15th Street, down Meridian Road. So to me, if I'm a factory, it doesn't even seem like in that area, it doesn't seem like it was a big benefit, but maybe it is, and I don't recognize what that is. In Huntingburg, where their industrial bypass road is, I didn't know this until recently, that they are, what's that called, Phoenix Drive, an industrial bypass? Phoenix Drive, now if you're coming from Jasper to Huntingburg, you would take a right heading west, and you get back to those factories.
Yes.
Farbest, OFS, I think there's some other ones back there. So now, instead of only being able to go right, you would also be able to go left off of 231, and there would be a new road there that would take you to the Mid-States corridor. So I'm like, as a person that's not educated on roads, I'm like, well, that would make sense. That would get them access to that road a little more quickly. So I see a benefit there for those factories. But with many of the places that the people would go on 15th Street and Kathy Lane, it seems like they'd be better off getting on 231 just like they do now. So it's not going to take, again, there's just a lot to consider here.
I did notice on 164, they're gonna, apparently plans are right now a J-turn on 164, which that's a fairly busy road, 164. And I told them, I said, there's a lot of campers and boats going up to the lake from Jasper. I mean, they're gonna have to, coming from Jasper, they're gonna have to head south, jump across 3 lanes, then make a U-turn, and then come back north and jump across 3 lanes and then get back on 164 again. A car, okay, but man, these big RVs and semis and everything else, that's, can be dangerous.
And their argument is the data shows that that's safer than letting people go straight across, which, yes, that makes sense, because you don't want people, you gotta look left at people going 55, and then you gotta park in the middle of the road, then you gotta look at them coming the I get that there'd be more crashes than that. So one of the questions I had too is, you're comparing that this is the safest alternative if there's a road through there, what is our current crash count at that location? Right, is it, I guess it's pretty low.
Yeah.
And okay, this is my final thing, because I just recommend that people read it on their own and make their own opinions, is that the thing that the most citizens brought to my attention is the Lockmuir report there says that you will save between 1 and 4 minutes. 4 minutes of savings on time is the maximum from northeast DuBois County to whatever, till you get to the interstate or whatnot. So you may get a maximum of 4 minutes of savings, and their argument is, what about the cost of those J turns, where they showed a video of how long it takes to get through a J turn. And the person, this was at Dale, they went to Dale and they recorded themselves getting on, like he said, going down the road, cutting across and then getting back on. And it was like 1 minute and 40 seconds. Right, that it costs you an additional time instead of just going straight across. So if a person does that, just to work and back home from work, there's your 3 or 4 minutes that you're wasting now that you wouldn't waste, or you would be wasting in the future that you're not wasting now. So they're like, overall, the local people suffer. It would be better for through traffic, potentially. I think that's my take on it. Anything else from you two? Anybody on the board have any Mid-States Corridor comments?
No,
Okay. Mr. Schneer, did you have something else for the board?
We're in the process of updating our county municipal code online and updating our books. There's a quote that came out, and we went through a certain date, but we've been really active since that date. I added about 3 or 4 more ordinances to that, try to be as up to date as we can, because we do maybe every couple of years. So when that comes through, I'll let y'all know.
Sure.
That's all I have.
Anything from the county auditor?
I will be gone this week. I will be attending my auditor's conference in Michigan City. I leave tomorrow.
That's a good drive.
it's safe.
I probably won't get the minutes done, so I'm gonna get them all things finished.
Get them when we get. I don't think I have any additional items. Commissioner?
I did not.
Commissioner Hostetter?
Do we want to discuss the airport at all, or do we want to?
Sure.
I don't have my packet with me.
Do you want it? Because I haven't opened it. Mine's laying on my desk.
I think, Commissioner Hostetter, what I would say, in summary, they're in negotiations. People want to see the meeting minutes or watch the meeting. The airport authority's meeting is online, so they can get
Is
that
it on there
part.
now?
I mean, the prior meeting was on there.
Okay, because I didn't think
No,
I got the date.
No, I did. I watched, because I watched the most recent one with,
Because I thought it was on there and I thought it was an older one. Okay.
because Mr. Hunsaker was saying, I just remember him having a lot to say about, he was leading the meeting. I think, so I called one of the board members last week and I said, what's going on? People are saying, the context of the issue is that there's people that are renters on there, they're corporate renters of the buildings, and there's the airport authority, and they're just trying to come to terms. But they're not there yet.
Right.
One side says it should be X, the other one says it should be X plus 150, right? So they're pretty far off. And my concern was from people on the outside of it saying, that side's being unreasonable. They're not acting in good faith. And the other side saying they're being unreasonable, not acting in good faith. The board member that I talked to said that we're open for negotiating. It's not a done deal. That the corporate tenants have asked for additional information and for meetings, and that they're willing to have additional meetings. So on my side, I was like, that's what I assumed. Because the corporate people are smart, community-minded people. The people on the airport board are reasonable, smart, community-minded people. I didn't think that we were gonna
Well, I don't want to hash it out here. I think my main thing was that we are not the airport board. We don't have a say outside of appointing board members. So, we can reach out just like anyone else can and urge them to come to some kind of agreement. But beyond that, we don't have a whole lot of power to push them into whatever direction we want.
No, I agree with that.
Not to persuade one way or another. I think they need to go back to the table and have more discussion.
Yeah, I would hate to see us lose corporate clients out there. I think there's only so many of them that are willing to lease out there, so.
No, I agree. I think it's in both sides' best interest to come to terms with both of them can live
Back
with.
to the
I
table.
mean, because really, the corporate people, they have a bottom line that they've got to meet. And the airport authority has a bottom, they need to find a way to be self-sustaining too. So,
And I think that's their plan, is go back and have more discussions.
have you talked to some people too that, do you think that, I mean,
That's the
I just wanted-
understanding that I
I
got.
just wanted people, if anybody is interested in the topic, it's not at a stalemate. They're open, people are open for discussions yet.
Right, absolutely.
If it gets to that point where it's stalemate, then I guess we'll deal with that at that time.
Right.
But you're right, this isn't a county commissioner issue. They're their own taxing authority. And
They're on board.
anything else? Any other comments on that
Nope,
or
that's
anything
all.
else?
That's it.
Okay, we close the meeting. Thank you.